anyone who doesn't know, this is Matt Taylor, and he was
Andy.
one of our readers at Write Up. And we just thought it'd be really nice. This is our last day of crowdfunding. We are at 87% towards our target. So we've got the last 13% to go in the next 10 and a bit hours. And we just thought it'd be really nice to have a chat with Matt about his experience so you can get an idea of what the evening is like and why we do stuff like this. So, Matt, how did you find it?
I really liked the thing that was nice is everyone there was just really supportive. I think I said on reading out loud is not really something I've done very often because I couldn't read when I was 18. So and although I fumbled around the place and everything, the room was so supportive. They enjoyed my piece, and it was just a nice, welcoming community, really. And yeah, there was so I didn't feel out of place or anything, even though I fumbled all over the place. But
You did not. I think you're so hard on yourself. You are like a little writing superstar. You were
yeah,
amazing.
the writing is fine. It's the actual reading the
No,
writing that's
it worked with you reading it. They're your words. They're more powerful, I think, because they came from you. You know, like it's made me think about. I've thought about your piece a lot since because it had really good imagery, really good action, and kind of challenged your thinking, your perceptions, your judgment. I really liked that, and I think this is a good opportunity when you've got a room of people to give those different points of view.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the selection of people was really high. I felt a bit well, you never know whatever you write is good until other people see it anyway. So in my mind, it's never that good until people tell me. But even then, I don't quite believe them. But it was nice being in a room where it was just like the standard was so high. I keep thinking about that Thursday's piece that I can't remember her name.
Oh, Danisha. Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was
And
amazing.
I just particularly loved the level of swearing in a church, to be honest.
I know she loved that. Like when I told her that the venue was a church, I think she found that extra delicious. But you know that old lady who came in and one of the boys had said to her, "Oh, you might want to turn your hearing aid down." And she went, "I think I'll turn my hearing aid up."
Yeah. Yeah.
That was-
No, it's just a really good night for those kind of things. And as a writer, like you're often just sat like I am right now in a bedroom typing away, you know, and just sort of hoping that whatever comes out will be half decent. And it's nice just having the opportunity to share it, to have people listen, and also like it's a small thing and you don't do it for this purpose, but it's just a nice little added thing is like with the write up thing, the writers get paid, and it's just a nice added added bonus to like going, oh, maybe it is worth just putting in the time and just getting that. You don't do it for the money, but when someone gives you money, you do feel good about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. And I remember at one point coming to find you and Michaela, and you were outside with a load of people in like a little gang, and I was like a mum going, "Can you all come back in now, please? You're all having
Yeah. No, it was really good. And it was nice seeing Michaela there because we were both on a writing chance program together. And we spent which was a writing development program for working class writers run by New Writing North. You can tell I've said that a lot. And it was just nice after that program ended, seeing us out in the real world with real writers together doing stuff. So yeah, it was really nice.
And it's really nice that you and Michaela were both there because you didn't know that the other one had applied or anything. It was just kind of like serendipitous, wasn't it? That you both kind of there.
Well, the awkward thing with like writing competitions and things, because if you know people who are doing them as well, you kind of don't want to say anything before it gets announced, just in case they applied and haven't heard yet, which means they haven't like got the opportunity. So you don't really want to be too public about it, just out of respect. But yeah, it was nice seeing it there. So yeah.
And it's nice to be in a cohort, even if it's just for like one evening. There is like a kind of camaraderie about it, isn't there?
Yeah, no, definitely. And yeah, it was just really nice just a nice evening.
But
I
also
think.
that I think that we get to sit with everyone who's come to be part of it. So yes, okay, we have that moment when we're up speaking, but the rest of the time we're just with everybody else having a nice party, like having nice chats. Like it's quite nice to break down some of those barriers because I think writing, different writing circles can be quite cliquey or elitist or like in and out of these different types of clubs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like, I think because I had to do I'm doing a master's in creative writing at the moment. I had to do a placement report which looked into working class writers in the writing industry, if that's a thing, literary industry. Like networks or lack of access to networks um is a big barrier for people. So like things like this, just a way of like getting to know other writers, know that you're like the struggles you go through are the same struggles that everyone goes through. Everyone's kind of blagging it, and and it's all just sort of like to know that you're like just all a pretense to be stripped away, to know that like what you're doing is right because you're seeing other people who you regard as better than you doing pretty much the same things as you. Just yeah, makes it a lot nicer and easier and just validating. And yeah, I mean, I left feeling a bit more confident in my abilities. I mean, I didn't write anything on Substack for like months after, but I felt more confident in my abilities.
Yeah, but I think, then when you're ready to come back, the community's there. And, it's nice to have people that are kind of in your corner as well.
Ooh, sorry, you froze.
Sorry, it's because I've had to come to the office and the Wi-Fi is really bad.
Yeah.
It's nice to know there are people kind of in your corner and they're supportive. And I think what was interesting is I'd seen you, Michaela, reading at a previous event where there were agents and publishers and stuff like that. But I think this one, because it's a community event, you're not having to kind of sell yourself in that way. It's quite nice for a change.
Yeah, no, definitely, and just yeah, like I say, just but the writers are really like top tier as well. Like like the nice thing is I left with loads of good ideas in my head from seeing what other people are doing, which is also the other nice thing because you do like otherwise you just end up writing the same. Or in my case, I end up writing the same crap all the time. So it's nice seeing how other people approach subjects, and I can sort of nick ideas and sort of yeah. Well, that's what is it Picasso said, good art is copy, great art is steal.
No, but I think that's really true. I think what's really nice is having that mix of people at different stages of their journey, writing about different topics in different ways. It's much more opening, and normally you kind of get segregated into like how old you are, or what type of thing you write, or what your background is. It's quite nice just to be like everybody kind of there. Everybody learns from each other, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, 100%. And yeah, and you're being sort of exposed to different writers and different styles of writing that, yeah, whereas normally you're just like, I mean, I won the bronze award at the Creative Futures writing competition, which is specific for underrepresented writers. It's a fantastic thing, but then it's that thing of like, everyone's kind of writing about the same thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's not that like those things aren't important because they are, and I would say they're very important because I benefited from it. Um, but it is that thing like, yeah, you just don't want to be if everyone's writing the same thing, you're kind of creating the same problem that was there at the other end where it was all like hyper privileged people just writing about the same stuff. You want that melting pot to create more ideas. But
Well, I
yeah.
think it's better for the writing, but I think it's better for us as a society as well, because otherwise we just pick the same stuff by people we know or who are like us or reinforce our point of view. It's good to kind of, experience different ideas and voices and frames of the world. It's how you can be expansive without having to go anywhere. It's very nice.
Yeah, like bring back teletext where you don't get a choice of what pops up on the
That's,
screen. That's what you
do
want.
you remember teletext?
I do. I remember BBC Two at like 3 in the morning just had teletext on the whole time.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you remember that. I would have thought you were too young to remember.
No, no, it was either that or the weird shopping thing on ITV at that time. Yeah, I just always used to wake up early. The nightmare child,
Very cute.
as you can read about if you read my Substack.
Exactly. Definitely just how did you like the music element that's part of I don't think we've talked about that as much because Christmas is
Um,
such a dominating thing. But
yeah,
this one, people are picking their Christmas tunes. And again, it's very varied in terms of what people have picked.
yeah. One thing that I found surprising on that night, given that no one knew who the other people were going to be joining was, is how similar the music was,
Well,
and that
you
is
and Louise both picked Arctic Monkeys, and I went
yeah.
to, I
I
don't
mean,
think I've
I
ever
picked
been.
it because I literally quote their song, my piece. But it was just like how similar the music was, which was like it shows that the selection for the evening was done right, curated right, because you had people like yeah, it was curated in a good way. Um, but yeah, it was just sort of like provided a nice bit of an extra layer of context to whatever was being read out in a way that if ju I mean, in my case, in case you didn't get it. Yeah, I like the element. Although the fact of Christmas songs scares me a bit.
Well, not everyone would have picked a straight up Christmas song, I think. They're all kind of
There's
the
only 50, isn't there? Something like that?
Christmas songs. Yeah, but I think it's also to do with association for people because
Yeah.
like it's whatever they're experiencing in that moment, they'll pick the kind of song. Yeah, I need to go and look at the programming this week and think about how it's all gonna fit fit together. But I like music because like a soundtrack to a piece kind of helps you get an extra little insight into the feel of that piece, doesn't it? In a way that it just kind of it's just nice to have a play with. And I think it just gives it a bit of breath and for things to land as well, like after you've read something. Because people also have to process what they've just heard because they're hearing it for the first time.
Yeah.
And I just felt like it just gives the writer like a bit of space and it gives the audience a little bit of space as well.
Mhm. Yeah, no, and it's like, yeah, I mean, that was the hardest part of the night for me was picking the songs, weirdly. But yeah, no, it's a nice thing, and also just saves like, as a writer, that awkward moment where everyone's clapping, and you're, like, going, "Do I just leave? Do I," like, because the music's playing, it just creates a nice thing off. Because like, yeah, I mean, I see myself because like, as a writer, I'm, like, quite socially awkward because that's why I write words rather than say them. Um, yeah, so that moment where everyone's clapping, going, "That was great," and you're like, "Okay, now do I leave?" Because if you leave too early, it might seem rude, and if you stay too long, you look weird. So it's like
Yeah.
that sort of conflict. Whereas the music just sort of sorts that out for you.
But with New Writing North, you were in the Substack category of writers as well, weren't
Yeah,
you? In your cohort. And you guys, I mean, I went to see you all and everybody was really strong, like really,
yeah.
really strong. You were a gorgeous cohort. Like and again, that breadth of writing. So it's lovely to kind of experience that on your Substacks. But then to get to see you in real life and hear you read the words, it does bring like an extra
You know what? Actually,
dimension.
when I did the reading at the Southback Centre a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, I can't remember how long ago now. I got quite a few people went, "It's so much different when you read it." Like, to how they read it. Like, the way I read it out, they said it felt different, and I found that weird because I was just like, surely it's the same, but fine. Obviously, I haven't done what I thought I was doing with it if you're reading it not how I
No,
intended.
no, I think it's just a different layer because
Yeah.
I think when you read something, generally if it's working, you probably pop yourself in the role of the protagonist alongside the
Yeah, yeah, I
protagonist.
think because I know the tonal shifts that I'm trying to do and say, so, like, when my voice raises or whispers or, like, what a side note is or whatever, I think it's so, yeah, it just never occurred to me that, like, people might be reading it differently, but I suppose that's a nice thing of hearing a writer read their work because you actually hear it as intended,
And
which is nice.
it's quite an intimate thing actually. Like everybody like telling stories to people is such an ancient thing. It's like a very human round the campfire thing that we have
Yeah.
carried for millennia. So I think coming together the darkest part of the year to share our stories and hear stories, it's like a really special like gift of what it is to kind of be human. And it was interesting because I was talking to Tom Wentworth about it, and he was saying, as a dramatist, he's always writing for performance and giving someone else his words, like he's not delivering them himself. And he was saying it was a really lovely experience to think about, how do I write something as me in my words when I then have to come and read it. I think there's a lovely closeness, the quality that you get with
Yeah.
I don't think people expect you to be an actor. I think they get you're a writer. I mean, some people are actors and they're writers, and that's amazing for them. And performance poets have a whole extra dimension.
Yeah, I know.
Um, but for prose writers, it's quite hard for us. It's quite
Yeah.
hard for us to read our words sometimes. Like, I always envy the performance poets because they've got the beats, like,
Yeah.
to carry it through.
But from the write-up that I did, apart from me, because 'cause I'm not very good at reading out loud, um,
You were
the
very
standard of how people could read out loud, I was just, like, really taken aback by. Like, it was really good. There wasn't, like, because there's some people, because like, quite a lot of it was prose. There's some people who read prose and you just wanna fall asleep. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they just like, they might have written it, and it might actually be really good if you read it, but they just, like, it's like Bueller, Bueller. But all the people, who, I got to watch at the last write-up were just excellent at reading out their prose, like, really, really good. It was very engaging and nice, and like I say, like, the Thursdays piece was just, like, great. Really stuck with me. Michaela's piece about, not being asked where she's from
yeah.
also stuck with that, 'cause I'm doing a similar piece at the moment, which is, about, care leavers always get the blame for being in care. So it's like, so rather than being asked, "Where are you from?" I keep getting asked, "What did I do wrong?" And
Oh my
sort of,
goodness.
yeah. But like
That's
I said, like, I got
insane.
loads of good ideas from it.
Yeah. Well,
To
if
finish it.
anyone's gonna benefit from your trauma, Matt, it should be you.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Why not? Trauma porn all the way.
no,
Um
it's not. It's not trauma porn.
No, but, like, but the point was, is like, there was a nice idea there, and I was like, "Oh, great, how can I repurpose this into something that's, like, to me, what without, like, actually nicking someone's concept?" Because, like, although, like, I moved from the Isle of Man to the UK, no one actually asks me where I'm from because I have a northern accent,
Mm.
not an Australian one, so it never, like, it doesn't hit the same way, but so, I found a way of getting a question that really annoys me and then writing a piece around it, which is a nice idea.
We had this conversation at the meetup last night, going actually behind your paywall is a really good way to like express the things that you want to say, but you're a bit embarrassed to say sometimes. Like sometimes you can really get into things quite deep because it's kind of like a safe space to experiment with things and see how they land before then they go to like a wider audience. And I think with the readings as well, it's so good for writers to be able to practice reading out loud, which you often do have to do, especially if you have a book come out. But to get that opportunity to practice in a safe space that where everybody wants you to do well is really nice,
Yeah.
you know? Like, um, but I was wondering, so with creating the platform, obviously we are asking people to pledge and come along, and be supportive and be part of a community. What role do you think being part of like the community online and in real life helps in kind of supporting your development as a writer?
Well, for me, those kind of things, like, I just need deadlines to actually finish stuff. Otherwise, I'm just there forever, either editing a sentence forever or thinking about editing a sentence forever, which is not actually doing anything, but I don't admit that to myself. Yeah, I'm thinking about the work. But like, but with having a community like that where like you can go, where you go, "Oh, I'm going to like submit something." Well, to submit something, you have to finish something. And then when other people are going to read it, it makes you just try a bit harder. It's like that, it's like a thing is like you tell someone to put their hand in put their hand up in the air as high as they can. They never do it as high as they can. You go, "No, no, no, just a tiny bit higher," and then they stretch, like the actual submitting is that stretching point.
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. If you're just submitting something for other people to read, you're like, "Oh, I'll just make sure that that's actually right and finish it," because you know there's a deadline, and if you get it a minute late, it's not being accepted. So it's like, and I think the only way that you get really good at doing anything creative, actually, I find this in music with in the other world I'm in, but with writing, is actually like publishing stuff or submitting stuff, or in other words, finishing stuff, is the only way you become a better writer. Like, because if you submit something, if there are any mistakes, you suddenly notice them. The amount of times on Substack where I publish something, I go, "Oh my god, look at all those typos! I'm going to edit it really quickly," even though I spent like hours going through, going, "No, no, no, it's definitely fine. It's definitely fine. It's definitely fine." Hit publish, and then suddenly it's like, "Oh right, okay." The So like it just sharpens you up in that way. Whereas like if you just sat trying to smash out a novel of 70,000 words, I don't know because I've never actually done it, but I imagine it's like, you sort of just get snowblind at some point, and you need like that, just something to let you know that, one, where you're hitting right, and two, where you're going wrong.
Yeah.
I feel, unless you're like, Stephen King or Margaret Atwood or something, where you can just smash out first draft and it'd be a bestseller.
Oh, I don't think Margaret Atwood would ever say that she smashed out.
I mean, you know what I mean. It's just, these
No,
people who can just wake up and write a book and then
Stephen
go and have
King,
lunch.
maybe. Stephen King, maybe in some sort of drugged up stupor. Um, but
You
no.
know, there's just those kind of people. They'll
Yeah.
go and wake up, smash out a book, go and have breakfast, and then get on with it. Um, you know, um, but it just for me, it just sharpens me up and makes me try a bit harder and not be lazy, because I like to be lazy. So yeah, that's what I find is really good. So yeah,
It stretches you, doesn't it? It makes you kind of develop and grow. It gives you that stretch. And actually, you can never kind of anticipate how it is going to influence you and shape what you do. And there is kind of like when you feel you are on your own, there is more power in that. I think it enables you to feel a bit braver. Like you try something and it seems to land well. So you're like, oh, okay, so maybe I'll try this and maybe I'll try that.
yeah.
And you can kind of
And
like,
also, with a community, because if you're sharing your work, people share work with you, and again, you're just being exposed to things out of your comfort zone that you might not necessarily read or closely read, because because when someone shares a work with you, they're expecting some feedback, and you're just sort of examining, it's just always like little influences coming up. You're going, "Oh, that was an interesting little thing they did there," and you can sort of go, "Oh, I might try that later in this piece," or often Micah's go, "Oh, that's what I've been missing in this piece. I just need to stream that out." Yeah, just because everyone has their own way of doing things, so you just have, if you're being exposed to more things, better your writing's going to be, isn't it? So, and that's what things like Write Up really help, because you just get to share your work, show your work, which is a a good thing, and in the process, you just get to be a better writer, I think.
And it does feel really lovely. Like, how did you find the venue and the space and kind of like, because I know it's in a church, which might feel a bit like, oh, for people, but it is a very kind of like London cosmopolitan type of venue, I hope. I hope it felt
Yeah.
okay being in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because I don't go to many churches, so I can't say. I mean, it was warm, but it was summer. I don't know what it's like in the winter. It's
Bring
not.
a blanket. No, it'll be
It's not. It was.
fine.
I mean, it was big enough for however many people were there, but it didn't feel too big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was still intimate, but not squashed. But yeah, it was the right kind of venue. I feel, and just like I said, but or I don't know if any of that matters. It's just the people were really nice, and yeah, and I'm naturally quite a shy person, so, and I'll just just dive into my phone as I'm going, "Oh, I don't really want to be here," but it was just nice and welcoming, and yeah, like I said, just sort of gave me a nice bit of confidence and validation, which was nice, because most of the time you're just sat in a room, aren't you?
I think it's good as well to have somewhere where introverts can enjoy being in a space as well. Like, obviously, me and Tom and Emma are all extroverts. But I think a lot of I mean, Tom made me get up in a pulpit, and that was essentially bullying peer pressure. But we're kind of like that. But a lot of writers are more introverted, and it's kind of harder. So actually having spaces that work for them where you can just be yourself, you don't have to like perform networking. You can just
Yeah.
like take your time, and actually conversations just come. Like everyone's there to like connect and have a good time. It's not
Yeah.
a performance. You're not trying to sell to anybody.
No. No, definitely not. Yeah, no, I like I say, I just really enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm so glad you did that. I enjoyed yours so much. So I will let you go in a minute because I know you have a very lot of words that you have to write this week,
Yep.
which I'm wishing you lots of luck with. I hope I hope you get them all done. I know you will because you're fantastic. You will.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, it'll be submitted, no problem. Whether it's any good or not is a different thing,
I'm sure you'll be good. I think you're
but
very,
it will
very
but
good.
whatever I write will be going up on Substack at some point. So, do like yeah,
Yeah, we need to have a chat.
you'll see the fruits of my labor.
We need to have a chat about emotional needs sometimes as well, don't we? Like we keep saying that
Yeah.
we'll have a chat about that. Um, but thank you for joining me. You know,
No,
this
thank
is
you.
like the crazy last day of getting all the pledges in for Write Up. So people have got 10.5 hours to get those last pledges in. We are at, what did I say? We were at 87% towards our target. So this is the last 13% to get. I think it's something like £554 that we need to get by the end of today. But you know what's funny is it does feel nuts. But actually, I think we've had since yesterday, I'm not very good at maths, you know. But I think we had almost half the pledges have come in, like, in the last 2 days from all the pledges, because I think we're now at something like 64 pledges or something like that. So we really, really appreciate it as well, and it's lovely, like, all the people that pledge and that are coming, and all the people that also aren't coming and they've pledged anyway,
Yeah.
which is so nice because it means they're putting a value on this type of work and recognizing writers, paying writers, creating community for writers, and demonstrating that words are really important. The stories we tell and the stories we hear really, really matter.
Yeah. And, yeah, and wow, 60 odd people pledging, that's really good. That's
Yeah, and
really, really good. That's 60 people who see the value, which is really nice.
it's so nice, and I'm so grateful because it's Christmas, which is a really hard time of year to ask for money. I think the last one I knew so the budget is smaller this time. I knew we'd get more people for summer because it's just that time of year, but we had, like, over 100 people pledge for
Wow.
summer, and 60 people came. And that was why the funder agreed to do the match funding again, because normally they wouldn't fund something twice, but they were like, "Oh, so people obviously want this. This is like fulfilling a need." So, you know, every time somebody pledges, that's another number that goes towards funders going, "People want this. People actually are making this happen." You know, it's kind of like grassroots
Yeah.
power, really.
Yeah. And, yeah, and the nice thing about it is, like, you're getting voices that don't normally fit into the more funded things that do a similar function. Just my diplomatic way of saying that. If you know what I mean. You know the kind of organizations who do similar kind of things, but, like, they're just the level of writing that you find is amazing, but they would never get a look in those things, and that's what's really nice about it, and why, like, it's great that so many people are supporting it, 'cause the you you're expanding the pool of writers who would get a chance, rather than because they don't fit a particular criteria, or whatever, despite the fact that the writing is amazing.
Yeah, and I think the fact that it's an event that's organised by writers for writers, I think, you know, I can tell in the way we've done the judging and the way we're kind of like thinking about how we do things, it's because we know how it feels to be on that side, isn't it? So I think there is more empathy and integrity built into that. Hopefully, I hope so. But thank you so much for your time. I will let you get back to your MA.
Oh,
Lots of luck. It will be
it
brilliant. You don't give yourself so much. You're
oh,
so
it'll be amazing.
fantastic.
Alright,
You're
alright.
amazing. Bye, Matt.